bet you all thought that I made this mission up so I could talk about Sunrise, so in essence could talk about Gundam. Or Oceans. And talk about Gundam. No. My current weird little obsession is actually with a mangaka. I've really liked her work for many years, but I have recently discovered how much I love her work by reading I'm reading currently 3 of her series. Like, progressively reading her series. And one of them I've loved since the first time I was ever an otaku. So, awesome. And that is Rumiko Takahashi. And a lot of you might be like, oh, Rumiko Takahashi, she's famous for Inuyasha. But she's so much more than just Inuyasha. Sure, this is probably her most famous piece of work, and it's also her longest, and it is also the most successful anime created, which is also, I think, probably her longest anime as well. Though Ranma might match it. I don't know how many episodes of Ranma there are. The manga is definitely shorter, though. But yes, she did Inuyasha. Her current work is Rine, which I adore. It's a really cute little shonen, very generic shonen series that I just seriously enjoy. It makes me laugh so hard. It's so funny. One of my personal favorites, and might be my favorite manga series, Maison Ikoku. This is a seinen, so it's a little bit more adult-oriented. Actually, relatively adult-oriented, considering the amount of naked in this, and there's actually even, those of you who don't know, there is at least one sex scene. Awesome. Didn't see that coming, Rumiko Takahashi. Didn't see that coming. My other could-be possibly favorite manga series is One Pound Gospel, which is probably one of her least known series. This is an awesome series. I'm going to do a legitimate review of it on Something New Otaku after I finish it. I am more than halfway through the series, and I absolutely adore it so much. You guys can kind of figure out what it is about during my review, but it's another really cute romance, and I adore it. And again, it makes me laugh. All of her series make me laugh. She's so good. She's just so good. One I haven't read at all yet, or seen any anime of. I think there's an anime for this, but that's Mermaid Saga. This is the only volume I have of it, and I haven't read it yet. I really, really want to. It looks really awesome, and it's a horror, which is something I've not read from her before. So I'm excited to read this. I'll probably read this once I'm done with One Pound Gospel. And of course, Ranma, her probably second most successful and most well-known series, which I read the manga badly online when I was unaware of how bad it was to read manga online. And I also watched the anime when I was a kid. So I had the best anime to watch when you're a kid, because kind of like Maison Ikoku, it's got a little bit more adult content. This is a shonen though, so it's not necessarily a seinen like Maison Ikoku or One Pound Gospel. But still, the sexuality is... Ranma thinks it's funny to use his boobs when he's a girl. What I love about Rumiko Takahashi is her, like I said before, she's really funny. Like, there is... Every series that I've read or seen the anime of, I am either laughing, crying, or wishing that man really existed in real life. Because the way she creates men is like my perfect man. I kid you not. I love the way she writes men. And I love the way she writes women. She actually writes strong-willed and bitchy women, which is essentially what I look at myself as. When it comes to like Maison Ikoku, I love Kyoko because she reminds me of myself, minus the dead husband part. But I absolutely adore the way she writes characters. And a lot of people will say, like, for example, Inuyasha doesn't have a lot of character development. I disagree to an extent. I agree to some extent, because I've definitely seen series with different and better character development. But Inuyasha wasn't necessarily about the character development, it was about the development of relationships. And you can definitely see the development of relationships throughout the entire series of Inuyasha. Sure, Inuyasha in season 1 is the exact same Inuyasha as in the final act, personality-wise. Pretty much. I mean, there are some changes throughout. But his relationship with Kagome is completely different. His relationship with Miroku is completely different. His relationship with Sango is completely different. Even his relationship with Sesshomaru is completely different throughout the course of the series. And that's what I love. I love the relationships that she brings characters through. And she does it with humor and with sadness and just all of it. And when there's always that one couple in a series where I'm like, they have to be together, and when they don't get together, I cry. And when they do get together, I cry, and it's just, it's wonderful, and it warms my heart, and I love it. Rumiko Takahashi is an amazing mangaka, and if you haven't read or seen any of her stuff, you need to, because they're just totally awesome. Inuyasha is probably the easiest to start with because the most gettable, but it's also the longest. And not only that, but it's probably the most generic out of all of her series. So do keep that in mind. My personal favorite right now is kind of a tie between Maison Ikkoku and 1 Pound Gospel, with Rine being a second/third, and then Ranma following that. Definitely a great storyteller and definitely a great character development, a character creator. I love her characters. Her characters always have such depth, and just, she's so good. She's just so good. I will go more into detail about this on my personal channel. Eventually, I'm going to make a video about this once I finish up more of her series or read more of her series, like Mermaid Saga and finish 1 Pound Gospel and finish Maison Ikkoku and things like that. But anyway, so that's all I'm going to say today and this week, and Tori, we will see you tomorrow.